In the race for the United States Senate in the special election in New Jersey, as a conservative, libertarian, Republican, I have assessed the four candidates running in the special election. Now, the petitions to run in both the Democratic and Republican primaries are due Monday, and there are, as of now, and it looks like there will be 3 Democrats, possibly 4 actually, and 1 Republican. That Republican is former mayor of Bogota, Steve Lonigan. Now, ordinarily, I would be supporting the Republican nominee for the United States Senate. I vote Republican when I can. I've only voted a couple times, always Republican. I believe that voting is one of the most important responsibilities of any American. I vote in every election I can. And thus far, I have voted, since I've been eligible to vote, I've always voted Republican. This year, I will be voting in the Republican primary in August. I will be doing a write-in because I do not support Steve Lonigan for the United States Senate for a couple of reasons. First of all, Steve Lonigan is dishonest. He has run dishonest attacks against Chris Christie, both when they were both competing for the Republican nomination for governor and when the governor was elected. Steve Lonigan has also made things up. And so I don't believe that the people in New Jersey or people of America deserve any senator who is going to be dishonest with them. Another reason I don't support Steve Lonigan is because he's bad for the Republican Party. Dishonesty is bad for the Republican Party, and other things that he's done, which I'll get to in a moment, are bad for the Republican Party. He's run for office multiple times. He's run for governor twice. He ran for county executive and for Congress, lost in the primary. He was elected mayor of the small town of Bogota, New Jersey, a suburb in New York, twice, I believe twice, possibly 3 times. But every other time he ran for office, he lost, and there's a reason for that. It's because he's dishonest and because he's out of touch. As a candidate for governor against Chris Christie in the Republican primary in 2009, Steve Lonigan proposed a flat tax. Now remember, I'm for the fair tax. But even Steve Forbes acknowledged that this flat tax would have raised taxes on 50 to 70% of New Jersey taxpayers, primarily working families. I will not support a candidate who would raise taxes on working families. I believe in the fair tax. But even, not everybody does support the fair tax that's running for office, and I voted for candidates who don't. But I have not voted for a candidate who would raise taxes on working families in the state of New Jersey or anywhere. So I cannot support Steve Lonigan for the United States Senate because of his dishonesty and because of his flat tax that would raise taxes on working families. Another reason is because he has received the endorsement and has endorsed Congressman Ron Paul. Now, Ron Paul is 100% right on monetary policy. I lean in and/or end the Fed. Ron Paul's right on social issues, but it's on foreign policy, where Ron Paul is a leftist and believes in blame America first, which tells me that Steve Lonigan would vote against, in the United States Senate, would vote against the Patriot Act, would vote against other homeland security initiatives put in place by the Bush administration, which has kept our country safe, and we need to continue these policies. So I'm not voting for Steve Lonigan. But nor can I vote for Congressman Frank Pallone, Congressman Rush Holt, 2 Democratic candidates. I can't vote for them either. And I can't vote for them because I believe that they put their party before their country. They voted for Obamacare, or voted for the stimulus, support the current Federal Reserve System, support the current tax code, voted to raise taxes, voted for this deficit spending. I can't vote for them. They're too liberal. I can't vote for them. I also cannot vote for potential candidate, Assembly Speaker Sheila Oliver. While she has worked with the Governor Chris Christie, a moderately conservative Republican, on some issues, she has also been divisive, and I believe that we need a uniter in the United States Senate. So I have come to the conclusion that I'm going to do something that I ordinarily do not do. I will not be supporting the Republican, even though I'm a registered Republican. I will be supporting Democrat Mayor Cory Booker of Newark, a moderate Democrat for the United States Senate. Cory Booker has a record of working for results. As mayor of the city of Newark, he presided over an era which saw a historic decrease in crime and historic economic expansion in the private sector for the city of Newark. While Mayor Booker and I don't see eye to eye on every issue, I don't agree with him on gun control, don't agree with him on health care, to name some issues, I do know that he is willing to work with Republicans and Democrats to get things done. He worked with Republican Governor Chris Christie on education and supported Governor Chris Christie's spending cuts in some ways. Cory Booker is somebody who I believe will work to reduce the national debt and promote job growth, and is somebody who will work with Republicans as well as Democrats to get things done on entitlement reform, on energy, on immigration. You name the issue, Cory Booker is somebody who transcends party lines. He's a proven reformer, and I know that he will work with everybody possible to get things done in the United States Senate. If I'm right, and if Cory Booker is an effective reformer, then he will get my vote again in 2014. And if I'm wrong, then I will support the Republican in 2014. But I can tell you that the special election gives us an opportunity to elect somebody and see how it goes, kind of like test driving a car, if you will. Like all New Jerseyans, I mourn the loss of the late Senator Frank Lattenberg. I didn't agree with him on issues, but he's a good man, served his country well in uniform, and served his state well in the United States Senate, fighting for New Jersey and fighting for the things he believed in. He's a liberal Democrat. I'm a conservative libertarian Republican. I didn't see eye to eye with Senator Lattenberg, but he was a good man, and he did what he felt was best for our state, and I give him credit for that. And certainly, the circumstances of which we are having this special election are tragic. But I feel it's my responsibility as an American to vote and to have my voice be heard in this election. Never did I think that I'd be voting for a Democrat for office, but in this election I believe that Democrat Cory Booker simply would better represent me and the people of New Jersey in the United States Senate than Steve Lonegan. Because Cory Booker is honest with people, he's bold, he has a record to run on, and he's a record of reaching across the aisle. I would rather have a moderate Democrat who is honest than a so-called conservative Republican, though I question whether Steve Lonegan is really all that conservative, who is dishonest. I believe that Cory Booker represents New Jersey's best interest, whereas Steve Lonegan represents his best own interests. I also believe that Republicans need to put up better candidates than Steve Lonegan in the future, and that electing Steve Lonegan does not enable us to do so and damages our brand nationally. So I think that my fellow Republicans should join me in voting for Democrat Cory Booker and then supporting a Republican in 2014 to have an election based on ideas. I don't believe that electing the lesser of two evils is a good idea. And every once in a while, the Democrats might actually have a good candidate, and they have in this case. It's been a while since the Democrats last had a good candidate anywhere. Probably Joe Lieberman. And remember, he ran as an independent last time he ran for office. So I will be supporting the reformer for governor, the current governor, Chris Christie, and the reformer for the United States Senate, Cory Booker. And imagine this. It would not hurt the people of New Jersey to have a senator and a governor who work well together, as Cory Booker and Governor Christie have. So I'm urging all my fellow Republicans, conservatives, libertarians, for the sake of our state, the sake of our country, and even for the sake of our party, to join me in supporting the candidate who transcends party lines, Mayor Cory Booker, for the United States Senate.